Hey, welcome to Caching in the North. This is the podcast from the birthplace of geocaching right here in the great Pacific Northwest. Now, it's Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and they call me Chris of the Northwest. We're here. We're going to talk about geocaches and geocachers from here and all around the world. So while you're trying to figure out where the atmospheric river is in the water cycle, we'll be caching in the Northwest.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about using stealth when caching at urban locations. Live audience, have you ever felt stealthy? Do you have any stealthy stories? Chris of the Northwest is so stealthy, he just disappears from view. Live audience, share in the chat. We want to hear what you have to say, or read what you have to type, or something like that. But we can't do anything until we bring in our sneaky simian. Some say he can hide in plain sight just by doing the floss dance. And others say he once traded a trackable for a cup of coffee. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
Cheers. There's my trade right there.
There you go. Roll the rim or whatever it is.
Roll up the rim. Yep. Yeah. Although, we don't have roll up the rim anymore. It's a thing of the past. Now it's all it's digital because that's better.
It's like a rim shot.
Not quite.
Okay. Wait.
There we go.
Very
quiet.
Very subtle.
Yes. All right. Well, not so subtle is how much we appreciate the support of our patrons. Folks, thank you to everyone who helps support this podcast, keeps it coming each and every week. So I guess it's all your fault. But a special thanks to our corporate Denali level sponsors. First of all, that's Landsharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca. They are the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. And remember that they have that Christmas promotion going on right now. So for every $25 you spend, you get a free trackable tag to add to your bag of all the swag that you're going to take. We also want to thank... Sorry, what's that?
Thank you for not using gag.
Or hag.
Or rag.
Well, speaking of not gagging, here's a beautiful view of Gold Country. Gold Country Geotourism is our other corporate Denali level sponsor. Visit exploregoldcountry.com. Hey, you know what? Now is a beautiful time of year to safely explore Gold Country. If you want to know more about how to do that and how to enjoy the geotours and the region, don't forget to download the app and check them out online. Gold Country or exploregoldcountry.com or on Facebook. Just look for Explore Gold Country. And folks, my friends, our listeners, if you want to know more about supporting this here podcast, well, just head on over and click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Thank you so much. And back by popular demand, I get to ask, what is a glow? Some may ask.
See, when you ask the question yourself,
yeah, I'm out of practice.
You remove the opportunity.
Well, thank you, Brylang. He shouted it.
Yeah, to get the message across.
Mm-hmm.
What is a glow? Well, the glow is the geocaching log of the week. So whether you read it or whether you wrote it, we want to hear about it because great logs simply make geocaching better. You can send an email or recording on that their smartphone that may be smarter than, mine, I think is smarter than the owner. You can email that to feedback@cachingnw.com. You can call it to 253-693-TFTC and show us just how you glow.
That's right. And this week's glow, well, it was sent in via email to that feedback@cachingnw.com address by firefighter Skippy. Firefighter Skippy says, hello, I got this log on one of my caches today, and I think it makes a great glow. The cache is GC85 Romeo 59 Tyler Mill Park and Grab. And this is the log. 'Twas the day before Christmas, but lo, woe was me, for there was no smiley adorning my tree. I searched and I hunted, but to my despair, my hands remained empty, the shelves were all bare. The crisis got worse, and I grew so afraid, and hoping dear Santa could come to my aid, I texted the North Pole. The answer was no. St. Nick's out of here. He left hours ago. Feeling abandoned and left all alone, I knew I would have to solve this on my own. And so, at my laptop, I started the search, with hopes that I wouldn't be left in the lurch. When lo, on the map a bright spot became clear, my quest was rewarded. Salvation was near. For there, on the side of a Wallingford hill, in the lovely preserve that is called Tyler Mill, a cache lay in wait on a snow-covered slope. My faith was restored. Once again, there was hope. With Garmin in hand, I got down to the task, but first grabbed my hand sanitizer and mask. For though we have had our 3 shots of vaccine, we can't take a chance, darn you COVID-19. I arrived at the head of a trail straight and narrow, held out my Garmin, and followed the arrow. And soon to my wondering eyes did appear the sought-after prize. Hallelujah, it's here. Yes, this is the cache, where they said it would be, like a bright ornament on a green Christmas tree. I opened it up, and the log I did sign. The quest was completed. The smiley was mine. And after returning the cache to its place, I set a course home, and I quickened my pace, feeling relieved and oh so elated in knowing my Christmas Eve dinner awaited. But loudly exclaimed as I hurried away, happy caching to all. Have a safe holiday. And it says, as always, our sincere apologies to Clement Seymour. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Firefighter Skippy.
You know,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just, oh, you were going to say the same thing. I am just amazed at the creativity of our fellow geocachers and just, people in general. I could never do that.
Yeah, it's very creative.
I wasn't going to say the same thing.
Oh,
So
sorry.
so
Okay.
you're wrong.
Say something you like to say all on your own.
I was going to say something totally different. I was going to say I didn't recognize the names of the communities that were mentioned, so I checked this while Jim was cold reading. I was cold Googling, and
Seattle, isn't it?
it's
No?
in Connecticut.
Okay.
Connecticut.
Because there is a Wallingford area of Seattle. That's what I thought. But
That's exactly what I thought as well.
Connecticut.
okay.
South Central Cog.
Connecticut.
Yep. Connecticut.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, it's not, apparently. Anyways, thank you, Firefighter Skippy, for sending that in. That's awesome. And hope you're listening and get to hear us read that out loud. Get to hear Jim.
Already put in a wish list for Christmas. He wants an ammo box made of transparent aluminum. Or aluminium, as some of our listeners might want to hear.
Computer.
Yeah.
There you go.
Use the keyboard.
How quaint. Well, folks, if you want to join in to tonight's chat, and folks, you always do, and let me say up front, thank you. We appreciate your input into this show. We love it because it makes it a dialogue, right? We're not just talking at you. You're talking back at us, sometimes yelling at us. That's okay. We can take it. But go ahead and use the hashtag sneaky or that sneaky hashtag tonight. You can just sneak one in there. And of course, you can use the hashtag FATAS to bring up a topic for the after show. But before we get into our topic tonight, let's talk about some news, shall we?
Absolutely. We got a little bit of news. It's a follow-up to GIF. So there was a announcement that came out, I think this past week, very recently anyways, letting us know what's going on with GIF. So first of all, who the winners were of the the People's Choice and the Signal Award, as well as what's in store for GJEF. So, and a few stats here. So over 14,000 geocachers attended GJEF events. So that's pretty cool. 18 films. And of those 18 films, the Signal Award winner, which I believe I was updated before the show, is voted on by the volunteers, was the Tilius Travel from Germany, which was quite good. That was very enjoyable and well done video. And the People's Choice Award, so the popular vote, not that the popular vote ever decides any kind of election, was the one called GeoCare, the home for the aged geocacher from Australia. And that one was pretty funny as well. So
that's the one my wife liked the best. She laughed out loud and says, "Now I know what to do with you."
She wasn't quite sure what to do with you prior to that, eh?
No, she wasn't sure, but now she figured it out.
There you go. So there you go. There's the awards. The other big news about GJEF is 2024 will not have a GJEF. They're taking another intermission. And they're anticipating that it will come back for the big 25th geocaching anniversary in 2025. So I guess we'll see what happens with that. So lots of time for people to work on their next projects.
GSM times 2 is disappointed. They're not going to have one next year.
And all the creators who just couldn't quite get a project finished for this year and we're hoping for next year are also disappointed.
Well, you have more time now.
There you go.
So it's only going to be better. I mean, I thought the quality of the films this year were very good.
In general, yes. Yeah. Definitely one of the better years. I would agree. All right. And then,
are they going to follow tradition and have the 25th anniversary in 2027?
Right.
I would think, yeah.
Why not? Those years, there's a couple of years that they just don't count.
Yeah.
For anyone. Yeah.
That's right. Well, there's another piece of news we want to talk about.
Do tell.
And that is GC9 Fave, or Fave, if you want to pronounce all the letters. As the year draws to a close, we have to remind you that nearly 30,000 geocachers who have shared a favorite place by logging GC9 Fave discovered wild geocaching, locationless cache. The cache will be archived and locked January 1st, 2024, no exceptions. Thousands of people have shared stories and photos from amazing places around the world since this locationless cache was introduced August 22. So visit our blog, that's the geocaching blog, and go see some of those amazing places. So you have until the end of the year to get that in. And that's a locationless cache. Those aren't around anymore. So if you need that type for, I don't know, a busy day challenge, something like that, you might want to plan it out because you've got less than a month to get this done.
Yeah.
And if you're listening to this later, you have much less than a month.
Yeah. That'll go by fast, and then it'll be rats. I missed out. So don't miss out. And you know what? At the end of the day, and you know, this is one of these things that gets me sometimes. I get caught by this. Like GC9 Fave, we kept holding out, like, oh, well, maybe this, oh, maybe that. Okay, like we only get one GC9 Fave. We want to make the most of it. And then at the end, it was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. Like, who else is going to actually see what we're posting here? Like, really, this is a lot more about collecting the icon than it is about promoting a location, because who really is going to see where you logged for your GC9 Fave?
Oh, I'm going to go look.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you go ahead and do that. We actually picked a really neat, nice location that we quite like in our own backyard, air quotes. But in the township of Langley, we found a really neat spot that we frequent, and I thought, this is not a well-known spot. We're gonna promote that. So that's what we chose, and it was a milestone find. Well, and again, arguably every find could be a milestone find, but it was a round numbers milestone find.
Oh, there you go. Dora Moore used a Gold Country location for that.
Very good. go. Good stuff.
And Starcacher says a Toledo area geocacher submitted an event and got the GC code GCA fave.
Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Very cool.
Nice. You got to do something special with that event, right?
Mm.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Why, that's my favorite event of the year. It's a favorite. It may not be the favorite, right?
Indeed. Well, since you can't give events faves, there you go.
Oh, Trek. Somebody needs to make a map of all the fave locations.
Ooh,
That would be something, wouldn't
there's a
it?
new project for HQ.
Yeah.
They love getting new projects from our podcast.
Exactly. I mean, what else do they have to do, you know?
Clearly nothing else, because we're creating all the work for them from this podcast.
All the good work.
Indeed. All right. So you want to dig into tonight's topic, Chris?
Let's dig into tonight's topic. And so we're talking about stealth. Now, when we're talking about stealth, we're typically talking urban geocaching, right? In
Usually.
a city,
Usually.
in some busy place, right? Typically, it's not out on a country road where you have to be super stealthy. You know, along a
Usually
stream,
not.
yeah. In a forest, maybe not. On a mountaintop. Now that could be because on some of those mountain trails, they get a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and I guess that's the thing, right? Is you're generally stealth required is usually going to be in an urban setting, but good point. Often you can be on a busy trail, and it's something that you need to consider as well. But there you go. But yeah, so we can talk about stealth and subtlety, our best friends. And Wits End, you got any fun stories to share with us to kick us off?
Well, I see that there's a story here in the show notes that I need to kick it off. Let's see. I was in the heart of the city, right? A muggle hotspot. I saw the cache, but I needed a diversion, so I unleashed my secret weapon, the dancing gooey duck routine.
Yes, classic Wits End. So if anyone's curious why the particular reading of that and the very odd example of a what might or may not be a classic Wits End move. Tonight we got a little help from our friend Chat GPT. Out of curiosity, I said, "Hey, Chat GPT, what would be some ideas for tonight's podcast?" Just to see what came up, and it came up with some things that I thought were odd enough that they would just be fun to add to the podcast. And that well-read line from Wits End there was one of them.
Some of them were just too good to pass up. Yeah,
Indeed.
I've my favorite example that would be a GC9 fave of muggle experiences.
Yes.
When my daughter was much younger than she is today. I want to say she was 11 or 12. We were walking into a park to get a geocache, and I know I narrowed it down to a picnic table, but there were people sitting at it. And I'm like, oh, we're not going to be able to get this one today. Sorry. She goes, no, hold on, Dad. And she walks right up to them, looks underneath the table and says, nope, no chewing gum under there. And people may have given a little, that's weird, but didn't think a thing of it. And I'm like, oh, she's a genius. That was a great move to go look under a table. A kid can get away with something like that where, an adult male in a park with children, it just looks really creepy. But it was one of my favorite, and I laugh, and I still tell the story because it's worth telling.
Yep, and we've got we're getting some great feedback from the live chat already.
Just Carlo.
Yeah.
On a similar point, my kids used to pretend to look for a lost toy. They're less into that now, but they were great tots. Yeah. Tots meaning small children, of course.
Yeah. Tots for tots. Exactly.
Using tots as tots.
Using tots as tots. Dora Moore shared Her advice is let the muggles tell you what they think you're doing. She says, Muggle? Oh, are you looking for owls? Me? Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. Great.
Absolutely. How'd you know?
Similar from GSM times 2. Says we were looking through a bush, got asked what we were doing. Suddenly we were a botanist class looking for a rare beetle. That also worked. There you go.
And it worked.
There you go. There you go.
Bought it.
Yeah. Friend of the show. Why can't I remember his name?
I don't know.
Land monkey?
No.
Oh.
He used to listen to us in a tanning booth.
Sprouter?
Sprouter, right.
Sorry, I got sneaky stuck in my head and couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
Sprouter, I was with him and he's just, hey, guys, I know this is going to look weird. I'm just going to look under this bench right here. You don't have to move anything. I'm looking for a geocache. And they're like, huh? Okay. Like, huh? That worked really well. I'm going to have to try that one time.
Yeah. All kinds of great stuff. There was definitely, and I have in fact done this before, carry a clipboard, wear a high vis vest. And I saw earlier, who was it? Wet Coaster, I think, also suggested that. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
High vis vest and clipboard makes you invisible to most people. I have done that. I was looking for a hard to find cache underneath the SkyTrain in a highly public area in Burnaby, and carried a clipboard, put on a high vis vest, just walked around poking around. Everybody ignored me. It was like, you're invisible.
Isn't that amazing?
Hiding in plain sight.
Exactly.
Heather says, I'm not very good at being stealthy, but people don't seem to pay any attention to me. If I do notice that someone nearby noticed me, then I'll probably explain what I was doing. So far, so good.
There you go. Mission accomplished. Funny stuff. Do we have any other live chat ones we want to?
Going back to GSM times 2, it's just, this is an example of the conversations that happen in the chat that I love it when you guys connect and that we can be a moderator for this community. I love that. But this is also this is the reason we can't always find what we're looking for. When you say, oh, I read something earlier, but I can't find it because we've got people chatting back and forth to each other, which I love, don't get me wrong. But when we see something go, oh, I want to go find, and you can't always find it. Anyway, Dora Moore's responding to GSM times 2. Saying that, he was looking, suddenly they were botanists. It said, didn't work for my friend named Kikoro. Someone asked her about the details about the tree, and she had no idea what it was.
That's why you're a student.
Busted.
Oh, yeah, a student. Yes. I believe this is a Nankikoro pine.
that would have been good. That would have been good.
They're very rare. And in fact, this is the first specimen I've seen.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. GSM times 2 responded. Nowadays, I use the opportunity to be an ambassador for geocaching. Fortunately, a lot of people have a friend who geocaches.
Yes. Right? Yeah, that is.
Boy, you guys are on it today.
Yeah,
all kinds of great stuff. It's getting to be more common that people go, well, I've heard of that.
Yes. Yeah. Heather comes back to say, I've also talked to people sitting on the bench. They enjoyed helping me. Did you just reach down with your left hand and see if there's anything under there?
Well, you know where else that comes into play is if you're doing a multi or an adventure lab and you need to read a plaque off a bench. I mean, how many times?
Yes.
How many times have you walked up and you're like, it's that, like, there's 3 benches, there's only one that somebody's sitting on, and it's that bench, right?
Yeah.
Of course it's that bench.
Yeah. Do you go sit down unusually close to them just to creep them out and make them move? Or, do you just stand there and stare?
Well, the beauty of the post-COVID area is you don't even have to be super close to them. Just sit down at the other end of the bench and cough into your elbow.
Yeah.
Oh, run.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Carlo says, if I have my bike, I'll pretend to fix something wrong with it. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I have also bent down to tie my shoe
Hmm.
while looking under something.
Yeah.
And often I'll see that as a clue. Stop and tie your shoe, right? If
Right.
it's
Mhm.
something low, that's
Yeah.
the clue that that's there. Go
I
ahead.
love this last one from Dora Moore. Can you pull that one up? There you go. She says, sometimes my group of friends will split up and two of them will talk really loudly and distract the muggles. That's awesome. I love it. That's brilliant.
I have been, urban caching, downtown caching with
Yep.
a large group of people. And
Okay.
when you have a large group of people, you can stand around a lamp pole
Mhm.
and nobody's going
Right.
to pay attention to what one of the people are doing to the lamp pole. They want to know why this large group is here.
Until
and
there's like this scream noise.
that's when everybody coughs at unison into their elbow.
Yeah. Exactly.
What else do we have?
Oh, lots of stuff. What are you looking for, Chris?
I'm looking GSM times 2. My mother used to say, if you can't razzle them with your knowledge, dazzle them with your BS. She did not abbreviate.
Awesome. And yeah, some good stuff here. Oh, man, you guys just keep coming up with great ideas. This is I love it. I love it when our audience writes the show
Yes,
for us.
exactly. Carlo says sometimes replacing the cache after signing the log requires more stealth than making the grab.
Right?
And that's definitely true. I did
Yeah.
a park and grab at a Walmart parking lot, right? It was snowy, so I, grabbed the cache, came back to the car to sign it, and somebody pulled into the parking spot right next to the lamppost, and I'm like, I'll wait till they leave. One person left the car, another one didn't.
Of course.
Oh, now what do I do?
Yep.
Well, let's see if I can wait them out. But yeah, it was one of those things of like, it's taking longer to put the cache back because now I've lost the element of stealth.
There you go. I think Stark Casher wants a yellow hard hat for Christmas.
Yeah.
You want to read that one, Wits End?
He says, I had a yellow hard hat I used to keep in the car for stealthy purposes. However, at one point I cleaned the car and put the hard hat someplace. I haven't found it for a couple of years.
Must be time to clean the garage.
There you go.
Or just go get another yellow hard hat.
Exactly.
And Dora Moore had a similar experience to you. She says, I had to carry a cache around for an hour once before being able to return it.
Now, okay, so in that scenario, can you imagine if she's doing that and the people who are hanging out at ground zero for an hour are geocachers
Mm-hmm.
who are waiting for her to disappear so that they can go back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a standoff that just goes on and on until somebody finally says, okay, are you a geocacher?
Oh, one time, Wits End and I delivered a cache to a friend in a hospital room,
Mm-hmm.
not a hotel room. They're completely different, but
They are.
they're both expensive and you're only in them for a short time. But I put a note into, the log that says, hey, we've taken this cache. If you're looking for it right now, it's not here.
There you go. Yeah, at least you put the note in there, so hopefully people would see that.
Right. But, if they were caching with a GPS and not a smartphone, they wouldn't have seen that, right?
That is also true. That is,
Yeah.
again, we've talked about it numerous times, and it's great content for its own podcast. But yeah, the nuances and differences, and that's I'm going to get on my soapbox just for a minute since you've taken us in that direction.
Oh man, I'm sorry, folks.
No. It's just that because so many new cachers never have had the joyous experience of caching by GPS, they've only ever cached by phone.
Mhm.
It doesn't occur to them some of the nuances around people who cache by GPS, and in particular, people who are traveling and cache my
Mhm.
GPS.
Mhm.
So there's some things to consider. I'll soapbox away. There you go.
Soapbox
I'm just
away.
I'm gonna put that there for now.
You just leaving that there?
I'm just gonna leave
Oh.
that there for a future episode.
Difference between hotel and hospitals, only one of them have comfortable beds and the other one have people wake you up every 2 hours.
Well, that
I've
could
been
be a
in
hotel too. I've been in
Yeah.
somewhere.
been in the same situations at both locations, so
I mean, those may not be differentiating criteria. Yeah.
they both have gift shops. No, that's not it. Okay. We'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
GSM times 2 says when in a group, Bellagio, his former geocaching partner and dog, wonderful dog, was a great distraction. She and I would position ourselves so the muggles backs to where they were searching, where the searching cachers. She was so cute she could hold the people's attention.
There you go.
There you go, right?
Sneaky.
Yeah, same with a baby, right? If you have a child in a stroller, you can search anything and people
Mhm.
are not going to pay attention.
They just hold the baby out at everybody. See
Yeah.
what they do. They'll be so distracted and confused that the search can continue. Seems like a good plan. I don't see what could go wrong with that.
Wits End, you want to read this one?
Let's see. Monkey Cake says there is no way to be stealthy searching for a cache on a corner in downtown Newburgh that ended up requiring a ladder.
Again, clipboard and high vis vest.
Yes. Maybe you could just rent a bucket truck.
Oh,
A
yeah.
flag person.
Yeah. Remember, geocaching's free.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm going to go back to my experience. I recently did a cache that was on a corner on a telephone pole, but it was very high up, right? So I looked around the places. Now it can't be that high because, I could just barely touch it with the tip of my finger. So I'm up there stretching, reaching, and cars are zipping by. Like, well, nobody stopped yet, but it is an unusual thing to do.
Yep. Well, we got a few more funny stories coming in here. Related to my comment, I'm sure, in response to Dora Moore. Wet Coaster says, trying to be stealthy while in downtown Toronto. After about 10 minutes, a couple on a nearby bench asked, looking for this geocache?
Yes.
Nice. Yep.
Dora
Go ahead.
Moore said, I was on a street corner talking out loud on my phone while looking for in a tree for the cache. Was praying my phone wouldn't ring. There's nothing like, pretending to be on the phone and having the phone ring to totally blow your
Yeah.
Yeah. Busted.
Well, and if you really want, some privacy or some elbow room, you just talk on the phone like, no, they said the rash isn't contagious at all.
That's what they say, but I don't believe it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Land Monkey, you had your turn on your soapbox.
Yes.
Jumping on my soapbox.
Please
When you're
do.
in public, don't talk on speakerphone. Right? You're walking up and down the grocery store aisles and somebody's, talking about their day at work on the speakerphone, with the person. And I haven't done it yet. I still going to walk up and go, hi, do you know everybody in the store is listening? I just wanted to let you know in case he said anything embarrassing so that everybody would hear.
I don't know that I've ever seen somebody do that in public. That's pretty poorly thought out.
Exactly. It's just, it's like, well, wait. If two people are talking, I don't think a thing about it, right? But if you're
Right.
talking on a phone, you can make that private.
Yeah. Did you know there's this button on your phone?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't press the speakerphone button and you'll be just fine.
Oh my god.
Okay. I'm down. I'll lower myself so
Oh no, that was a good
now
one.
that I've stepped off my soapbox there.
That was a good one. That was similar to the ladder story. GSM. Whoops, I'm clicking the wrong page there. GSM times 2 has a good one here. He says he was on the roof of his car at a 4-corner stop, retrieving a cache from one of the stop signs in a neighborhood when the cops showed up. Whoops.
Maybe they were geocachers too.
Could be.
Yeah, they were coming to find it.
They said, oh, sorry, Chris took that one to the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh dear. 3 hams and a rose. Also has used clipboard and high vis vest to look like
Yep.
he's inspecting something. There you go. Inspector Gadget.
Done.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brian Lang suggests that GSM times 2's experience is the opposite of sneaky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too funny. Good stuff.
Nice. Now, Land Monkey, are there any other tricks you've used?
Let's see. Well, it's funny because, speaking of the opposite of sneaky, there are times when it's like, oh, sneaky is just not going to work, right? And so you just go ahead and look. And I think I make a bit of a judgment call, right? Like I kind of make an assumption about the demographic of the muggles around me. I'm like, all right, these are people that this is going to be safe to explain geocaching to, and they're not going to, they're not going to get freaked out and demand to get removed, or they're not going to get curious and just steal it or something. So, usually you can make a reasonable assessment and explain what you're doing. And there's a few people who suggested that. Heather mentioned that a few times. But yeah, when it comes to things to do, there was I can't remember, somebody, maybe it was Wet Coaster made a comment earlier. Go to the starred comments here. Where is it? Not the high vis vest. Oh, I don't see it here. Didn't get flagged. But he made a comment about having a camera and just getting down and trying to get the right angle for your photo. And that one I have done a number of times. So
lay down underneath the bench. Now there's the angle I was looking for.
You know what's funny? Tuesday after work, Laura and I were out to go grab a multi. Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't know. One evening after work this week.
Tonight is Thursday, if that helps.
Yeah, I know. It's like, well, it wasn't Thursday, but this is the way my work weeks usually are. It's like blur of days, Thursday, Friday weekend. Blur of days, Thursday, Friday weekend. Anyways, we were out and we were looking for a multi, and the final was we knew the final was a magnetic, and we had a good sense it was on one of the 4 benches in this public area. And we're like, oh crap. So at one point I'm just like, I'm on my back crawling under the bench. This is just what we're doing. And if somebody asks, I dropped something, right? Like, what are you going to do, right? So, and that's another one that I have used is, oh yeah, I've dropped something. And that goes sometimes back to what Dora Moore was saying, where it's the, let the muggle decide for you what your cover story is.
Yeah.
And sometimes, again, depending on the situation, if it's a little dodgy and you don't want to totally freak somebody out, you can just say, oh, I'm playing a game.
Yeah. And I've found that most people have heard of geocaching through
nowadays.
Oh, I've heard of that. Tell me a little more about that. So I did come across a gentleman. We were on a trail and he was using a Garmin GPS. I said, "Oh, are you geocaching?" "No, what is that?" "You've got all the tools right here, buddy." I mean, he was an avid walker from his dress. And he goes, "No, I just use this to track my pace."
Oh,
I walk this trail 2 to 3 times a day. And yeah, so Heather says, scavenger hunt usually works. I'm in a scavenger hunt. Oh, okay.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Kitty
Yep.
Quest said the same thing.
Yeah, great ideas. You guys are great. There's just more and more great content coming in here.
There you go. Multiple people have used the scavenger hunt or GPS scavenger hunt. Love it.
Yeah, GSM times 2 says Pokemon Go was in its heyday was a blessing as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
there, people were just walking around like zombies staring at their phone. So everybody ignored them.
Yeah.
You could get away with anything. Is Pokemon Go still going? Or did a Pokemon stop?
I think it's still going. I just think it's waned in popularity.
Mhm.
Just Carlo, he's used scavenger hunt as an excuse as well. Hey, Cash Canada's watching tonight. He says, just dive in and go for it.
Yep.
Can you jump back up to Dora Morris? There you go. She said, oh, sorry, I'm reading too many of these. Jim, go ahead.
We told a muggle that we dropped an earring, and she decided she'd stop and help us. We finally had to tell her what we were really doing. Yeah,
Although what would have been funny is if she found an earring.
Exactly.
And
possible.
then you would have had to stop and put somebody else's earring on.
I was at my brother's house. He's in my brother's town, there was a trail along a river, and as we walked, I was getting the geocaches. In one spot, there were a bunch of golf balls. So somebody must be hitting from like their backyard over the trail and just landing them there near the river, right?
Yep.
And I've jumped the fence and I'm looking for the geocache, and a gal walks by and goes, "Oh, are you collecting golf balls?" Okay, so I let her define the story for me. Well, yes, I am. Okay. We met her going back the other way, and she brought me handfuls of golf balls. Here, I picked these up for you. Oh,
Wait till she walks away, dump them all. Like,
thank you.
golf balls.
Yeah, so I got caught, and she was being helpful.
Yes.
Funny.
Sorry,
Here's
I
one
look
from
like
Starcatcher.
free range golf balls.
Oh, they were. Yeah.
Okay.
Golf balls. Those are the best kind.
Yeah.
Wits End, you want to read this one?
Starcatcher says, I used to act very klutzy and dropped my keys again and again, in order to look under a bench, stuff like that. You can drop it once, but you can't really do it more than once.
Unless you want somebody to come and really help you, like, oh, sir, do you need
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me call you a cab because
can I take you back to the home? Yeah.
Do they know you're out?
Oh, let's see. We've got more. Here's another one from Heather. We went to Fort Vancouver, Washington, and there was a whole Pokemon event going around in the area. We fit right in while doing the adventure lab and multicam there. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah, doing traditionals is a little harder, but I don't think anybody would notice.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. I mean, if you if you got your nose in your phone like everybody else, then
Yeah.
too funny.
Yeah.
Geocaching. The reason the line at the Catholic confessional is so long on Saturday. Yeah, sometimes too.
That's funny.
Oh,
the lying. It's the lying that hurts.
Yeah. The old tying my shoe trick.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Would you believe?
No, that's the phoning with your shoe trick.
Yes.
Kitty Quest says I pretended to use the bench on a trail as a support for my stretching before hitting the trail.
Okay. Yeah. It depends on how you're stretching, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm stretching under the bench. Yeah.
Yes. It's the new thing.
Really gets my quads to
That's gotta really work that.
There was some movie where, a guy and a girl had just met and she came up and they were meeting to go running or something. She goes, "Wow, that's a really good stretch. I've never seen that one." Well, I dropped my keys and they went into the car.
There you go. Indeed. Start Cacher has some advice for you, Chris, you and your golf balls.
I can now drill a hole in the golf balls and glue a centrifuge tube and make new geocaches. Hundreds of them. And I, toss out 100 there and only one has the log in it.
Oh, ooh, that's evil. Yeah. Bucket full of golf balls.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I only put the tube in one, but still it's in a golf ball.
Indeed.
Amongst the other golf balls.
Just had an idea of a variation on that kind of evil hide. All right, mental
There have
note.
been several like that, maybe not golf balls, but
Yeah, well, I'm thinking of different than just like a bucket or an ammo can full of things. But I just had an idea for a different kind of. Yeah. All right.
Well,
I'm going to explore that idea later.
Wits End, you and I found a golf ball cache right outside a golf course. Right, it wasn't in the golf course, but it was on the trail outside the golf course.
Which is great until somebody comes along to collect golf balls.
Right? Yeah.
And then they go, well, what's this funny thing in here? And throws it, away. But yes.
Yep. Komakino has a call back to the comment from Just Carlo earlier. He says, I don't know how many toys that my daughter lost. I had to tell people I was looking for while trying to find a cache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Oh, kids lose so many toys when we're trying to find a geocache.
Yeah.
Right? And search for so much gum.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. GSM times 2 says, did anybody remember the GIF entry, geocaching like a ballerina? Classic caching in plain sight. That's been a couple of years ago, right?
That was, that was, yes, I can picture that one now. Thanks, GSM times 2. Good callback. Sort of bringing the beginning of the podcast and this end of the podcast together.
Landing the plane.
Landing the plane.
Ooh, nice. I like landing the plane. Well, there we have it. I think that covers a lot of techniques. And I think we use a lot of the same techniques over and over again because they work.
They work, yeah. Good stuff. Well, that was a lot of fun. And, thanks. Oh, go ahead.
Dora Moore says, when Muggles ask what I'm looking for, sometimes they say, I won't know until I find it. They get confused and moved on.
That is hilarious. And okay, before we wrap up, Just Carlo asks a great question.
This is my problem. Yeah.
How sneaky are you while signing the logbook? So once you've found the cache, and depending on the size of the cache, etc., you gotta put some pen to paper, and then put. And earlier there was a conversation about putting it away again, right? So
right.
Good point.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm telling you all my stories tonight.
Okay.
We were driving down to California this summer, and we stopped to see the tallest flagpole on the West Coast, as one does.
As you would, yeah.
Yeah. Just over the Oregon border into California in a little town. I can't remember the name of it now. Somebody will tell me here.
Wairika or something.
No, well above that. I mean, it's just over the border. So we're at the tallest flagpole, and it was something, really, really impressive. There's also a geocache there. So I'm looking around, and I've located it, but unfortunately, other people have come to see the flagpole, and they go to sit not at the table where the geocache is, but right next to it, looking at me. Like, now what do I do? So I found it, but I can't sign it.
Right.
So
that's funny. Good stuff. And the GSM times 2, maybe we'll just wrap up that one. He shares in response to Just Carlo. I frequently go to my car to sign the logbook, but a lot of people are not sneaky at all when signing the log, and that is probably true.
That's true.
Right. Well, and see, that's the problem I have. If I have had to be sneaky to find it, and I go to my car to sign, I have to come back. I have to start that whole process over again.
Yep. Oh, here you go. Here's the answer.
Town of Doris. Yes, it is. Thank you. Town of Doris. Doris, California, because, of course it is.
Of course it is. All right. Well, thank you to all of our live audience for contributing so much tonight. It has been a lot of fun listening to your stories and sharing your comments and riffing off of what you guys have to share. You are the best live audience in geocaching podcasts. Thank you once again tonight for joining us and having a lot of fun with us tonight.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Caching in the Northwest.
And with that, I want to take a moment to thank Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism, our corporate Denali level sponsors. Land Sharks, LANDSHARKZ.ca is the outdoor adventure and geocaching store. Check them out online. Remember, they're shipping those online orders daily, and it's Christmas shopping time. And for absolutely amazing geocaching adventures and places to plan to go in the new year, check out exploregoldcountry.com. We want to thank all of our faithful Denali level supporters. It's, of course, Land Sharks and Gold Country Geotourism, but also Team Squirrel, Groovy Owl, Cool Cow Cachers, and Cachly, the geocaching app. If you want to know more about supporting this podcast, well, head on over and click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website.
Like Subway Mark did.
And Ari54321.
And Team Noltex.
CRS 98.
Just finding our way.
Flagman.
You talks to rocks.
The Camp Clan.
Skyhawker.
Active in the chat, just Carlo.
Also active, Kitty Quest.
And Kev MacD.
Genies.
BC Rock Crawler.
B Pendragon.
J-Car.
Mountain Bike.
Sege Hove.
You, Dak.
GSM times 2.
Ackerdoc.
LG 9000.
Seebeck Tribe.
Kid Vegas 19.
Corzat.
M-Nerve.
Where are we here? Oh, look where we are. Boomer 365.
Geo Nav Pro.
Alarobrick.
Drexer.
MC3 Cats.
Wino Seattle.
Limax.
Gas Station Tuna.
And for all you spilly drinkers, Wet Coaster.
Peach of Washington.
Green Words.
Antaeus.
Doramore.
Nervous Energies.
And last but not least, and joining us on an episode in the near future, Geocaches.
Thanks, folks. Thanks for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Your support helps keep the quality shows coming. If you like the show, please click the Patreon link on the cachingnw.com website. If you didn't like the show, let us know what you want us to talk about. But if you like the vibe, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and give us a review. Now, if you were in a restaurant, you would tip. If you were in a live audience, you would clap. But since you're on a podcast, leave us a free, fast, fabulous, fantastic 5-star review. Of course, you can call us at 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, or help us look for an earring any time of the day or night. Of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Join us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Pacific for a live show and chat. The show is produced by Chris Unfenauer, Jim Paulwitz, Jay Kennedy, and Brian Lang. It's licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2023. I'm getting ahead of myself. By Chris Unfenauer. And folks, I ask you to stay tuned for
The After Show.
Oh, yeah,
Noise.
You're just balancing out the shows in January when you'll say 23.
Exactly. It's funny. I read 23 and I'm like, oh, I got to change that to 24 coming up. But
Yep.
24 popped.
Not yet.
Covering all your bases.
We do have a FATAS, a single FATAS. The Doramore put up her tree today. It was weird hanging those things on a tree that I actually wanted muggles to see.
Nah, as opposed to trying to hang things in a tree. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a cedar and not have anybody
Not
see it.
camouflaged.
Actually, I shouldn't say a cedar. I don't think anybody uses a cedar as a Christmas tree. A pine
A pine,
or a fir.
or a Nankiko pine, Nankikoro pine.
Nankikoro pine.
Mhm.
Or, a cedar hedge for your Christmas tree. I'm going to put a cedar hedge up in my living room
Oh,
for
there
Christmas
you
tree.
go. What do you guys think about renting Christmas trees? Have you seen this around?
Like
No.
live Christmas trees?
Yes, they deliver it to you in a large pot.
Oh, okay.
You put it up, you decorate it, and then a month later or whenever they come back, they pick it up and take it away.
That's really interesting. I
And
haven't
you could
heard
have
of
it
that
brought
before.
back next year, right? So you could have the same tree year after year, but it's professionally cared for during the year.
Oh, so they don't go and plant it later? Because I've heard of like buy a live tree, not cut down, like in a
Mhm.
in a planter and hang your decorations on it, and then in after Christmas go and plant it somewhere. I've heard of that,
Mm,
but I haven't heard of renting a tree and getting it delivered and then brought back. What an interesting idea.
Renting potted Christmas trees. UDAC would try it.
There you go. I'll have to look around and see if any businesses do that.
So yeah, so you pay this. I hear you pay about the same as you do for a live tree, which I believe are just astronomical anymore.
yeah,
Right?
they've gone up a lot lately.
I've gone with artificial Christmas trees forever.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay. Yeah,
I'm trying to figure this one out.
I think he got his one of
Yeah,
his keys.
there you go. I think the Easter egg hunt is more casher focused than decorating the Christmas tree. There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
not sure what the Easter F hunt is. That may not be family friendly.
Oh, just in case you want to know, Dora Moore says there's a place in Surrey that does that.
Huh,
Who knew?
Christmas tree. So there you go.
very cool. Very
Give it
cool.
a shot. If anybody does it, they have to let us know how it worked
Exactly.
Hang a bison tube in it.
and send it back and see if the bison tube is back there.
Yep, that's one way of doing it. That's hilarious.
That's true, Starcasher. If you get the same tree again, it would soon outgrow your room.
Yeah, I think
So that,
Link said something similar earlier.
so that means you just have to buy a new house every couple of years to accommodate your Christmas tree.
Yeah, with the grand ballroom and yeah. Why not?
I have a friend who has a dozen different sized Christmas trees in his yard. He'll cut one down a year and then plant it back again, so that he's got a constant supply of
Like a
Christmas trees.
cycle going. Okay,
And he has
interesting.
his own Christmas tree farm on his property. It's just a big house in the city, but along one side is a bunch of Christmas trees.
Dora Moore asks, how do you get it home on the roof of your car with the big pot on it?
Forklift. They'll have no problem putting that up there for you.
Yeah.
It's your
Good luck when you
responsibility
get
to
home.
get it down.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh, too funny. Too funny. All right. Well, what do you think, guys?
I think we're getting the cane here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We're being pulled off the air. Folks, thank you so much for joining us this evening. And until next week, get out and get caching.